Back and better than ever, Sleepless with Steve on FM 89. Thanks for being with me wherever you may be and however you may be listening to us. Me, Steve Pulaski. Time to talk about Gotti. Yeah, that movie came out. John Travolta movie about John Gotti, the famous mobster, Teflon Don. I love saying that. I've been saying that all weekend. Yes, if you're just realizing that there is a John Gotti biopic out in theaters right now, so did I. Believe me, the movie guy me, I didn't know this was coming out until Friday. No idea. There was no promotion. And followed the trajectory of this movie too well, but know a few things about it. To begin with, first off, this thing is going to go down and be famous for how badly it's been reviewed. It currently sits based on 28 reviews, a 0%, a rare 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's incredible. That this thing has a 0%. Now, first off, just to give background, okay? This movie has been in production for about 8 years, and they bought the rights to it off of, I believe it was John Gotti Jr.'s book. They bought the rights to it, the studio behind it as well. They bought the rights to it. They wanted to make this movie for a long time. It was Vertical Entertainment was one of the companies behind it. They wanted to make this movie for a while. They wanted to get it out, and this thing also too has 41 credited producers. 41 producers on this movie. You thought Rules Don't Apply, the Warren Beatty movie that had 16, had a lot. This was supposed to call that. Supposed to come to theaters and video on demand back in December, which I didn't even know either. That would have been news to me too. I had no idea this thing was coming out. And now it gets a theatrical release in about 5. It's not good. And it's borderline awful. It's not good. It's very bad. And it's bad in an interesting way, and I'll get to that in a minute. But anyway, here's a prominent angle of this. MoviePass, okay? The mainstay, the staple of this show, Sleepless with Steve, that we talk about so much, Joe Viso and I. MoviePass has a distribution company. I don't know if you know that right now. MoviePass Ventures, okay? It gained prominence as a distributor when it picked up The Orchard's movie, American Animals. And this is the second movie they've picked up. Gotti cost $10 million to make. Mitch Lowe, the CEO of MoviePass, is one of the producers, one of the 41 producers on this. A producer credit on this movie for and he got a producer credit on this movie for $700,000. Not a bad price to get your name on the screen. It really isn't a bad price. But yeah, Mitch Lowe is one of the producers. So he spent $700,000. He's a producer of this movie. Gotti opened in 500 theaters and earned $1.7 million. That's not atrocious given a movie that wasn't promoted and only opened in 500 theaters. It's not great. It's not going to make its money back. It's going to be a bomb by a long shot, but that's not awful. I mean, it really could have. This isn't an atrocity as bad as it is. At Action Point opened. This isn't an atrocity as bad as it is. But Gotti was totally panned. It will lose long-suffering 41 investors' money. But that's not the worst of it. Here's the funniest thing. If you have MoviePass, you can open your app, and the two promoted movies that are front and center on the MoviePass you probably never heard of are front and center. It's because two movies never heard of are front and center. It's because MoviePass has stake in it. Now listen to this. News came out today. MoviePass accounted for 40% of the ticket sales for Gotti. So out of 1.7 million, let's use even numbers here. That's about $800,000. It's about $800,000 $800,000 that MoviePass accounted for tickets. Now, when you MoviePass, a ticket subsidized plus MoviePass, MoviePass, a ticket subsidizing company, movie ticket subsidiary, paid for $800,000. Okay, in movie ticket costs. That's about what? $1.5 million? So essentially, MoviePass bought the box office. So again, it's not rocket. I've seen this happen before. So again, it's not rocket science. Mitch Lowe, CEO of MoviePass, gives the movie company Vertical Entertainment $700,000. They distribute Gotti. They're a co-distributor of the movie Gotti. 40% of the sales for the movie tickets $1.7 million. 40% of that just pay for its own opening week. Did MoviePass not just pay for its own opening weekend this weekend? And they're still going to lose money. And they're still going to lose money on this. And now you have American Animals that has no buzz. If you don't have MoviePass, you don't even know what the hell it is, and you can't even find a theater playing it. So you can't rely on American Animals to make any money. Thing with Gotti. And the best part about this whole thing with Gotti, I'm going to say this. The best part about this whole thing with Gotti, if you go to Rotten Tomatoes right now, again, it has a 0%. They always do the critical consensus. You know, they always have like a little one-sentence summary of the movie. Gotti is summarized, 0% Gotti is summarized in one word. Forget about it. That's probably the cherry on the sundae over here with Gotti. About this.
It's just funny to see, like, one, that whole Rotten Tomatoes, like, you know, consensus thing. That's just funny, but it's just funny to see that MoviePass was like, we'll pick up this movie for $700,000 and just make that money back basically in the opening weekend.
Yeah, but for $800, you got to think though, they're paying. They have to pay for it. Movie for $800, how they subsidize it. So they have to pay that and have to pay for it. MoviePass, how they subsidize it. So they have to pay that, and Mitch Lowe's already paid $700,000, and the movie essentially paid this weekend. I found that hilarious. I did kind of the moron math. This essentially paid this. Oh, that's funny. And this movie's not that good. This movie, and like I said too, this movie's not that good. This movie is not good. And I'm just gonna say this.
It's amazing too because it's like, why was this opened up to way more theaters? Like, this is playing by my house. Better at a bunch of theaters, but not American Animals.
You know what?
Not American Animals.
You know what?
And I've been hearing better things about American Animals.
This is a lot easier of a sell, I think. You know what I mean? I know what you're thinking. Like, this is a movie about a gangster, a biopic about a gangster
with John Travolta.
It's more salvageable, I think, in a lot of people's minds than I don't even know what the hell American Animals is about.
True.
You know what I mean? Where it's more of like this I don't even know what the hell American Animals is about.
True.
You know what I mean? Where it's more of like this offbeat comedy drama with no-name stars. The biggest name is Barry Keoghan, and if you didn't watch Dunkirk, you probably don't know who he is. You know what I mean? Even if you did watch Dunkirk, you probably don't know who he is. So that's the thing. I think Gotti is more marketable. Plus, it's got John Travolta.
Yeah.
And you were surprised to learn too, as an Entourage fan.
This sounds like an Entourage episode where he just makes a movie like that. This sounds like an Entourage episode where he just makes a movie like this.
I'm not going to go into Gotti because I don't really think it deserves it. There's not a ton to really say about it. There's no real big names in it. Spencer LaFranco plays John Gotti Jr. Kelly Preston plays his wife. Donald John Volpenheim plays Paul Castellano, the Don that Gotti Gambino murdered in order to usurp the role in the Gambino. That John Travolta, he's hammy as John Gotti really is, but he admit that John Travolta, he's hammy as John Gotti really is, but he has some grin-inducing like lines. Now, I said in my review, I said that may sound like frank praise, but imagine if like Martin Scorsese's movie Casino was so, but you could pay that movie were to Robert. That the best compliment you could pay that movie were to Robert De Niro's Suits. That's like the equivalent. That's like the equivalent in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The guy doesn't. The guy is. You know
Saturday
what I mean?
Night Fever.
Oh wait, Grease. The guy doesn't. The guy is. Why is this Gotti movie so bad? Why does it have a 0%? Let me tell you, it's not the reason you think. Okay, the rotten core where this thing stinks the worst is the structuring and the pacing. The pacing ruins this movie. The movie is all over the place. Mm-hmm. It jumps years at a time. In the opening minutes of the movie, you see Gotti when he's young in the mob. You see him when he's incarcerated talking to his son in the early 2000s when he's dying of cancer. And then you go back and see him when he's putting out a hit in the middle of his career. And then the movie starts all within like a 15-minute range. And the movie even opens. Here's another perplexing detail about this thing. The movie opens with John Travolta's Gotti addressing the screen, like fourth wall breaking. Then the opening montage, the opening credits, show archival footage of the real life John Gotti. And then this like convoluted structuring starts. Okay, the movie's a mess. The movie's a mess.